today, mainly sunny skies and breezy conditions to start off. Then a chance of showers and storms late. See a high around 83. Tonight, showers and storms likely, some of which could be severe. See a low near 63. And tomorrow, more showers, potentially storms likely. The high around 73. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line, here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Happy Monday. Welcome to the show. A beautiful, beautiful day in Lincoln. The sky is blue. The sun is shining. Not even as windy as it was last week. But hey, look what the wind blew back. If it's no one but Erick Strickland. Stricky, baby, welcome back to the studio. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful, man. Shout out to Cluster Johnson and my boys, family, and Global Open Wound Care had a phenomenal morning with some great meetings today. So, got back, got active, and it was a beautiful day to do it, man. I'm got a chance to sit down with some old teammates, Michael Finley and some of his old, like Mike Finn has a great crew of brothers in arms. They all stay together, and got a chance to catch up with them in Dallas. And also, Nico Harris, who is the vice president of basketball operations there. And we got a chance to sit down and chop it up. And an old Colorado Buffalo and a guy I used to do some battle with, Donnie Boyce, was in town, so got a chance to hang out with him a little bit. Sherrell Ford, some old hoopers. It was a pretty good time. Got some things handled as well, and glad to be back, man. I heard the weather was nice and hot.
Oh, it was amazing. It was fantastic. It was better than it was than when you left on your overseas trip.
Yeah.
So there were absolutely no complaints here. We'll definitely talk some NBA playoffs here, but are you rooting for your boy T. Lue or your Mavs?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I noticed. That's why I asked.
I probably got to root for my Mavs, man. Unfortunately. I was telling Nico when we were talking, I think it's going to be a tough series, but I think it's a good matchup for them.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I think a situation is that you're hoping to see is continuation of James Harden not showing up in playoffs. You're hoping to see that.
Right.
You're hoping to see definitely Paul George maybe having a lackluster one. I really like what the Mavs have kind of figured out. Jason has taken this year to really figure out a lot of that rotation and how to play off of each other and win in certain times. And also it seems like they figured this out. One of the things they used to do is upon rebounds, it used to just continuously go to Luka. And then it would be a walk up.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've got a combination. There are times where they give it to to Kyrie, let him boom, push, run, go, get some of those athletic wings that they've got. They've got a lot of athletic guys at that 6'7", PJ can shoot it.
Lively runs the floor at center.
They just broke a record for dunks in the game. So, use those sometimes as opportunities to get out. And what I've seen is those are rest opportunities for Luka, because Luka just kind of chills. He don't sprint with the crew. He just kind of chills. Sometimes he'll take on that Dirk role where he'll just kind of slow follow. And then if things get deep probed and if nothing works out, then they'll sometimes find him on a late drag action or something like that. So, yeah, so it's going to be a good little matchup.
It sounds like a very similar kind of conundrum Nebraska had back a couple seasons ago when they would always look for Sam Griesel or Derek Walker to run it up. And that's where I think we talked about, Jamarcus Lawrence coming in off the bench for those teams, being able to push the pace a little bit more. It's funny how just even that change of tempo can make a difference, whether it's for, 4 minutes or 40 minutes, just being able to go back and forth. How important is it to be able to play multiple styles when you get to the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it is. Normally people say it's definitely more of a half court type of flow in the game, but I think those early opportunities too, because it's a game of runs. The thing about the NBA sometimes that people can't fully grasp and they wonder about is how do people have 20 and 30 point leads and they dissipate? That's how fast the game is, and that's how fast it can go. I mean, you could just go on a slight drought in the NBA and it can turn a game around just like that. You can get out on somebody, you can get really hot, and then all of a sudden you see these crazy comebacks, and it's just part of the game. It's just huge swings can happen in the NBA that you probably don't see at that same level, at the collegiate level. So yeah, those things can happen.
Let's keep talking about the NBA playoffs here after our break. We'll start in the West since that's where we jumped off with the Clippers and the Mavericks. Maybe a few more thoughts on that game. Definitely go over the top 3 teams in the West. It came down to the final day to determine who was hosting in which order, and then the play-in will happen on Wednesday. What do we make of how that shook out for those 4 teams? Erick Strickland back in studio. Austin Norman with you. We'll take a break, continue on the block next. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Hi, I'm Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised in Lancaster County, learning the value of hard work and grit at a young age. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. I know that families and businesses in our community need lower taxes, lower cost of healthcare, and a great education. That's why, as your senator, I helped pass the largest tax cut and made the most significant investment in education in Nebraska history and worked to reduce the cost of healthcare. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on May 14th. Paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. We know that navigating the legal system is stressful and overwhelming, but Liberty Law Group will carry that burden for you. When you're facing legal issues, make the right call. 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny skies and breezy conditions to start off. Then a chance of showers and storms late. See a high around 83. Tonight, showers and storms likely, some of which could be severe. We'll see a low near 63. And tomorrow, more showers, potentially storms likely. The high around 73. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clark for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Does it seem like your clothes dryer doesn't dry like it used to? It may not be your dryer. It may be your dryer vent. When the vent becomes obstructed, it drastically reduces the efficiency of your dryer. Even worse, it can be a fire hazard. Here's the simple solution. Call Bryant. Bryant will thoroughly clean the vent and show you the before and after results. Call 467-1111. Keep your dryer operating efficiently and your home safe. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Women may be complicated, but I make sure buying jewelry isn't. Your gal has a style, and you can figure this out. Is she more of a classic necklace kind of gal, or does she rock the boho chic vibe with layers of delicate bracelets? This is crucial intel. Not trusting your intel? Stop in the store and we'll sort out the details. I promise to make this super easy. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone back with the latest update from Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, your new car selection keeps getting better and better every month. Can you tell our listeners all about it?
You know, it sure is, Charlie. It's great that our customers can come in, pick out a new Honda, and drive away with it that day.
How many new Hondas do you have in stock?
Well, right now we have just about 100 in stock.
Hey, I hear you've won some very important awards in your service department. Tell us about them.
Well, the first one is we won the award for the first fixed award. So the cars are actually fixed on the very first time they're brought in. Second award is our Customer Service Experience Award. And then our third award is our Honda Express Service Elite. And we rank the best in quality and customer satisfaction.
Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just flashed across the timeline that Andrew Morgan, the transfer big man from North Dakota State, has officially signed with Nebraska. We will keep monitoring the transfer portal.
Say that again.
Andrew Morgan, big man, North Dakota State, officially signed in with Nebraska. We will keep monitoring the transfer portal here on this show, bring you the news as it breaks throughout the day, throughout the week, as Nebraska looks to put a roster together. But we turn our attention to the NBA playoffs now. Stricky, let's start out in the West. We briefly mentioned that Clippers Mavericks series, just one game separated those two teams. 51 wins for Los Angeles, 50 wins for Dallas, which if you take that same 50 win mark and you transfer it over to the East, you're in a tie for second place. The East is fine. The East is pretty good. There's some surprise teams at the bottom we'll get to a little later. But once again, the gauntlet is in the West. You have a 1-game difference between first and third, really, because Oklahoma City and Denver end up with the same record, but Oklahoma City wins the tiebreaker. Nuggets and Thunder both win 57 games. Timberwolves win 56 games to get the 3 seed. Then it's a 5-game drop-off between the 3rd-seeded Timberwolves and the 4th-seeded Clippers. Let's start with that Timberwolves-Suns series, Strick, because we know that matchup is set. It's the 3-6 matchup. Minnesota maybe feels a year early. I think they made some good moves in the offseason, but Phoenix landing in the 6th spot. Is it enough of a win for them that they stayed out of the play-in, or is it a disappointment to be down at 6th?
Well, I think for them, they would say with how things started, they were playing basically with big 3 type numbers. They still couldn't figure out their rotation. They didn't know who their secondary guys, those guys that were going to be those support guys, they didn't really know. So there was still some movement there that they didn't solidify. And so for them, I still think they have center issues. So they feel pretty good, I think, getting into that position. Now, I don't think it's a bad matchup for them, though.
Fair.
Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I think across the board, like Ant, I don't care. He's a problem for everybody on that team. Bill can't handle him. Definitely, they'll try to put Booker on him, which will take away a lot of his success. But his physicality and the things that he can do, Durant can't handle him. On a one-on-one basis. Over the course of time, you can throw him on him periodically with his length and stuff. But I think but overall, I think it's a pretty good matchup. Now, to the rim type of action, it's going to be tougher for them. But the thing about Phoenix is they're a very, very big mid-range team. You know who they'll probably throw at him? They'll probably throw Grayson Allen at him.
Yeah.
He just signed an extension as well. Pretty good defender, very physical. Maybe try to frustrate him a little bit. He's kind of grimy. He's grimy. So that could be something. So we'll see what they try to do on the matchup side of things. But I think it's a pretty good matchup. I think they feel good about that type of matchup. As opposed to probably Oklahoma City or Denver. But they avoided the playoff or the play-in. I think they're happy with that.
They needed the Lakers to win to avoid the play-in. Lakers do end up getting the win. So Phoenix slides into the number 6 spot. Frank Vogel, what do you make of the job he did? Do you give him credit for piecing it together? Is he a guy that raises their ceiling in the playoffs? Is he just a guy at coach? What do you make of Frank Vogel?
Wow. So he's gotten a bad rap.
Okay.
For a while. Frank Vogel has. I think he's a pretty good coach. It's hard to say. It's hard to say how I truly feel about Frank Vogel, but I think he's gotten a bad rap, especially with the LA terms. I think he's got a chance to raise his bar a little bit as far as his coaching and what people would think about him, especially if he can do something in this playoff run. He's got enough talent on the team. I still think their issue center, though.
Yeah.
I just think that's where their issue resides. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Let's take a look at the couple play-in games here. So the first play-in game to determine the 7th seed is between the Pelicans and the Lakers. We were talking about this a little bit. The Lakers don't want to see the Nuggets. Lakers made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, got their butt handed to them in 4 games on Denver's way to a championship title. New Orleans kind of popped on the scene. Not to the same degree as a Minnesota or an Oklahoma City did, but New Orleans has quietly been playing some pretty good basketball recently. If you're the Nuggets, you probably would rather see the Lakers, but who do you think wins that game?
The Pelicans and the Lakers.
Pelicans and the Lakers.
I mean, they just blew the doors off of them. So I can say that the Pelicans will probably come back and play a lot better. Zion played horribly.
Not good at all.
He didn't show up, so I'm sure that's not the the way that he's going to want to go out, that's a bad taste, as far as the end of your season. Already people have been talking about your resurgence, and then you've kind of been wondering, when is he going to show up? I mean, he's kind of been missing in action. And so this is a stage. This is a stage now to jump on and see if he can make some noise. And what better team to do it against than Lakers? Now, again, there could be some things for the Lakers. We just talked about Anthony Davis. The news has been reported that he's experiencing a little bit of back spasms. I mean, that's Anthony Davis. There's injuries that sometimes pop up at an inopportune time for the Lakers. And this could be, but it could work into their favor, because they may prefer being an 8, but do you want to risk it? Now, I say the risk is very minimal, being that their free throw shooting differentials are astronomical. So, to put them in a game against, but the problem's going to be if Golden State wins, because one of them's got to go through. Then you're gonna figure who's going to be the better team that you prefer to go through, and you can't have both of them.
No.
So at that point, there's going to be decisions to be made, and I'm sure Golden State is frustrated every time they play the Lakers, because they seem to get the short end of that matchup.
They get treated like littlest brother, really, because it's the Lakers, then it's the Clippers, and then it's the Warriors. But to your point, Strick, I think there are 3, good stories here in this play-in nationally, right? I think the emergence of the Pelicans to some degree, Zion playing better, Brandon Ingram's been around for a little bit, and I think people like CJ McCollum. So I think the Pelicans are a good enough story. The league's not mad if they go through. We know about the Lakers with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, obviously. And then the Warriors, who were the lowest team in the playoff field at 46-36, the same number of wins as the Kings, lost tiebreaker. I know maybe one final ride for Steph and Clay and Draymond. But the story that I don't think enough people would talk about, or that the league would recognize, is the Kings. And we know that the league doesn't like the Sacramento Kings. Just go back to the early 2000s and how those series went between the Lakers and the Kings. So if you're looking at it from a kind of big picture marketing perspective, really, I think Sacramento's the only team without a shot. But I like their core. I think Sabonis can do some stuff. I think De'Aaron Fox is really good. Their role players are still there. So I'm not picking the Kings to advance, but especially against the Warriors. I mean, remember Steph going off for 50 against them last year? I think that's an unfortunate matchup for Sacramento, who I think needs to be a bigger story, but might bow out right away.
Yeah. Very, very, very possible, because that's an area of weakness for them, is definitely on the inside. And great note from Texter 2366 that the Lakers have been swept by the Kings, and yeah, I mean they're a tough bunch. They've got a nice 7-8 man rotation, good shooting. Guys that are capable of going off. I think a key for, like you said earlier, that Anthony Davis has pretty much saved the Lakers. They would probably been further out than you think. But the sad thing is, the West, I feel bad for teams like Houston, because like you said, if they're in the East, they're in.
Yeah.
Right? Even the bottom feeders of the East, 8 when they win. I mean, bottom feeders of the West, 8 when they win East. They 8. They're able to eat up some games. So, we still got to monitor some things on the East side. We'll talk about that, but I really that those playing games are going to be interesting, especially in the West.
Yeah,
they're going to be really interesting to see how they unfold.
If you're a young Thunder team, you earn the 1 seed. You will face really, I mean, the Nuggets are guaranteed to face either the Pelicans or the Lakers at this point. If you're the Thunder, who do you want? Who do you not want?
As far as
matchup, yeah.
To be honest, I don't think they care. You know what I mean? I like your perspective. Who do you think? Because I personally think they don't care. I think they're just playing at such a high level on both sides of the ball that they're going to play hard, and they're just as aggressive as any of those other teams. I think things will be extremely highlighted if they're being treated in a certain way, especially on the referee side of things, because they are so aggressive. You won't be able to have LeBron sit there and say, well, they fouled and we didn't. Like that take was hilarious to me when he said that. But I don't think they care.
This year, the series is 2-2 between the Thunder and the Kings, so that's pretty evenly matched. I think the Thunder and Pelicans would be my dream series, honestly. Two young teams, two budding superstars going up against it. So that's the series I would most want to watch. But if I'm Oklahoma City, there's really only one answer for the team I want. It's Golden State. I think back to what year that been? 2015? No, 16. Because this year they lost to Cleveland. Golden State had Game 6 Clay go off in the Curry shot in overtime with the game tied from like 35 feet away. That was Golden State's time. If I'm Oklahoma City, I want to undo that narrative. I want to undo that storyline and say, you got us when you were the top dog. It's our turn to get you and put you in your place.
Yeah,
that's the matchup I think if I'm Oklahoma City, I want.
They need storylines. They need storylines to drum up interest, because obviously interest has been a little bit lackluster. I think the collegiate games have been very good as far as viewerships on both sides, on both the men and the women's side. So they're going to need storylines. I think that's what they need more than anything. I don't think it's not the players anymore. I don't think the NBA, it's the players anymore. I mean, it's not these CP3s in their youth and some of the things that they could do. Steph is definitely aged. LeBron is aged. Kevin Durant, they're all aged. And there's that next group who are not outside of Wemby. Even Chet doesn't get the same amount of respect as Wemby gets.
No.
Right. So, it's got to be storylines with matchups and teams that you're going to have to sell, because they're not going to be able to drum it up just by players alone right now. Not right now.
Chet Holmgren played, if not every game, he played enough to qualify for awards. That's at least 65 games. I think he played even more than that. I'm impressed with that coming off an injury, right? I mean, he was hurt, had the foot issue last year, and foot issues aren't good for big men. Feet, knees, back, like you mentioned with Anthony Davis, those linger longer in big guys. They're easier to tweak and undo. So to see Chet Holmgren kind of become an Iron Man this year and just his official rookie year on the court, I think that's a sneaky big part of OKC's success.
I agree. And so with that in mind, Mr. Orman.
Yes, sir.
Who wins Rookie of the Year?
Wemby.
Just say it's kind of just undoubtable at this
Wemby.
point. So that's the thing, right? Is this a time then when you're getting back more to your productive members winning awards as opposed to winning teams winning? Because if you look at it from a standpoint of impact on a team that has had success, you gotta look at Chet.
You do.
But you also got to assess that the San Antonio Spurs are gutted. There's really no help. And so what he's been able to do as far as putting together numbers, so are we shifting back to that? Is it a shift back to a production and numbers as opposed to winning impact? Because it used to be winning impact, because you would see guys that really had way better seasons that were given awards because of their winning impact as opposed to the numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think if it was a close race, maybe team success would have played into it. But since San Antonio moved Wemby to center full time, he's dominated. Had some pretty good offensive performances here and there, but defensively, straight. He's on another level. Like Chet's been good, Rudy Gobert's been good, Draymond's been good. If you just go by counting stats, blocks and steals, and even just some of the lack of counting stats, the shots that he makes guys second guess that would seem open. I wouldn't be shocked if he finishes top 3 in defensive player of the year voting, just because I think his numbers have been that ridiculous. So if it was close, yeah, maybe Chet steals a few votes. And I said it on this very show back in the old building before we moved. I said, watch out for Chet. He's my dark horse rookie of the year. If Wemby misses any time or if it takes him a couple months to come along, but it really only took a few weeks for Wemby. So for that reason, I think he's got it locked up. Storylines and enough production. Yeah. So let's take a break. Let's go over the MVP race really quickly. And then to start hour 2, we'll go through the Eastern Conference playoffs before a Husker football recruiting conversation with Brian Munson of Husker Online. He'll join us on our Allo VIP line. Big thanks to Nebco for sponsoring the show. Check them out at Constructors Inc. and NebcoInc.com. We'll be back in just a minute here at Rapid Power 1 of On the Block next.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Nutrition Authority invites you to save 35 to 75% off at the Spring Mega Sale. We're taking our better than internet prices and cutting them even deeper, bringing you the biggest sale of the season. Monday, April 15th through Saturday, April 20th, the Spring Mega Sale is on at Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. The Double the Savings sales event is happening now through April 22nd at Bonsall Pool & Spa. During this event, buyers can take advantage of up to $1,500 in savings and receive 0% APR for 60 months. Visit the Bonsall Pool & Spa showroom at 33rd and Pioneers or visit their website at bonsallpool.com to learn more about their hot tub sale. Act fast because this offer ends soon. Bonsall Pool & Spa, every day made better.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com. where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our annual spring sales event is now underway. We have absolutely huge savings right now at Koppel. New Sierras and new Silverados have a double whammy. Choose from APR starting at 1.9% or discounts over $9,000. Yes, that's right, 1.9% APR or discounts of over $9,000. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street just south of the interstate, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you're in New York, Nick, in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat. Hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come, Strick, come here, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
you
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Early break with Sip and Jake.
I called. You didn't return the call. Called a couple times yesterday. No, nothing.
But I did trust
Crickets.
Hold it. I called first, and then I got this. I don't know where Sip was. If you're in the bathroom, I get he goes,
Hey, hang tight. I'm writing right now.
and I don't know. I'm like, well, why are you whispering to me? He said it just like that.
Hey, sit tight on that one. I'm writing right now.
And I'm like, what is he doing?
Can
Is
you
he in
give
the
us-
bathroom or what? Where are
Can
you
you
at?
give us the scoop on what happened
Yeah,
there,
where
Sip?
were you when I called you? Because I did call you back.
Hang tight. Hang tight. I'm writing.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Stricky, who's your NBA MVP?
Wow.
Who you got?
Wow. I would like to see somebody like Shea Gillis win it. Just unexpected. He led his team to the freaking
one seed.
I can't say Tatum. I'm not there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a better, like a really good team.
Yeah.
And not playing in a gauntlet that.
Not the same gauntlet.
Not the same. So I like that. I think he's worthy of a note.
Sounds like it's a three-person race right now between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, like you're saying, Nikola Jokic, who would win his third MVP if it comes to pass, or Luka Doncic, who is still, I think, entering his prime, maybe not quite there yet in terms of age. Do you give any credence to like a Jalen Brunson?
I mean, I give credence to it.
Is he?
I think
he's runner-up, top five?
I'd say top five. I'd say top five.
Okay.
I don't know for sure if I could say he's.
I mean, the Knicks got the 2 straight.
Yeah,
Your
man,
Knicks
that's
got the
tough.
2 seed.
I mean, it's tough, and look, if you go and look at his numbers, I mean, his numbers are, I think, maybe 30 or so points more than Luka Doncic, as far as what he's been able to produce, and he's led his team there. But again, like you said, I mean, Dallas is playing in an extremely, right now, tougher conference.
Mm-hmm.
So is that part of the deal in it? I don't know, but I think you can say he's in the top 5. I think you can say he's on your watch list for future. Like if he's able to do this once again, if you're able to watch him in the playoff run and they're able to just kind of go deep and get to the conference finals, 6-7 games, and he's going, doing what he do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, now you're watching him next year and see if he can continue, if it's a continuation of it, or I think he works hard enough to where you're not going to see like a fall off or anything like that. He works his tail off.
Who would you vote higher for MVP, Tatum or Giannis? See,
I think
Giannis has probably been more impactful for Milwaukee, but Tatum's still been the best player on Boston. And they are like double-digit games clear of everyone for the best record.
Yeah, I think at this point you got to throw Tatum. And then there's been just kind of a little bit of injuries for Giannis in out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you definitely can see the impact of him when he's out,
right,
for that team as opposed to when he's in. Dame showed he's not able to carry.
Not the same way he did in Portland, not even close.
No. So I still think they're dangerous, especially if he can get through this calf strain and really get back into 85-90%, because he's so dangerous, you've got to scheme for him regardless,
Mhm.
right? So I really I think Milwaukee's a dangerous team in a matchup, and they have capabilities. I just think they're so inconsistent. They're just really
Mhm.
inconsistent to me, man. They're just not they're not like they used to be. Now, he's locked for I think another few years now. I think maybe 2 or 3.
Mhm.
So you still got a chance to amass and do some things around him. They kind of in a sense went all in this year because they re-signed a lot of the guys that but they're not going to be able to retain them.
No.
They're going to be able to retain them now. So you go into rebuild mode. You cancel out some of that money. You find some young guys because again, they're not a free agency landing spot. So you're going to have to do it. That's why I say I really do believe that Oklahoma City did it right. A small market team like that, you know, your Sacramento's, your Indiana's, your Milwaukee's.
Mhm.
I think they did it right. Like, I think Milwaukee had a chance to do it right with like a fresh Chris Middleton before his time kind of went over the hill.
Yeah.
You know, you could have probably got some good. You're obviously not going to give up Giannis.
No.
But
And at the time, you weren't
danger-
going to give up Drew a few
Right.
years ago.
The danger of it though is, do you upset Giannis? You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's kind of a fine line. It's a tough game that they were playing. Unfortunately, Oklahoma City was willing to take the risk, but
Mhm.
it worked out because their young talent that they found in a mass was just it was a good group of guys that liked each other. They enjoyed playing with and for each other,
Mhm.
and they've been able to turn it around and use it to their advantage. And whew, they're set.
We talk so much about their draft picks, but obviously I think the most impactful guy came over in a trade. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was a part of that trade that sent Paul George from Oklahoma City out to Los Angeles. So not only did they stockpile draft assets and draft really well between the Jalen Williamses, the Chet Holmgrens, and all their other role guys, they nailed it in a trade too. They sold Paul George at the right time. They got a good return on it, and young guy they believed in, and it's really worked out for him. Let's take a break here. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference playoffs. Is Boston the hands-down title favorite? Do you trust them enough? They win the most games in the NBA by 7, beat everyone in the East by 14 games. We'll talk some Boston. We'll talk some East playing, and then really interesting matchups in the 4-5 and the 3-6. We'll get to that before a Husker football recruiting conversation with Brian Munson, all in hour 2 of On the Block.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our annual spring sales event is now underway. We have absolutely huge savings right now at Koppel. New Sierras and new Silverados have a double whammy. Choose from APR starting at 1.9% or discounts over $9,000. Yes, that's right, 1.9% APR or discounts of over $9,000. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street just south of the interstate, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through April 14th, enjoy USDA Choice Flat Iron Steaks for $9.99 per pound. All natural, boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.98 per pound. Duroc Pork Tenderloin for $3.99 per pound. And 4-ounce lobster tails for $6.99 each. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Hey, Nebraska! Register today for the 40th annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to cornhuskerstategames.com. Advocating for physicians in the health of all Nebraskans, Nebraska Medical Association, a proud platinum partner of the Cornhusker State Games.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny skies and breezy conditions to start off. Then a chance of showers and storms late. See a high around 83. Tonight, showers and storms likely, some of which could be severe. See a low near 63. And tomorrow, more showers, potentially storms likely. The high around 73. I'm meteorologist Kyle Collector for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to save 35 to 75% off at the Spring Mega Sale. We're taking our better than internet prices and cutting them even deeper, bringing you the biggest sale of the season. Monday, April 15th through Saturday, April 20th, the Spring Mega Sale is on at Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome into it, hour 2 on a busy NBA, heavy NBA playoffs focused day. I'm Austin Norman, joined by Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet, man who knows a thing or two about the playoffs, Mr. Erick Strickland. Brought to you by NEBCO. Appreciate them for their support. NEBCO and Constructors is hiring for all positions with immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. You can join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Laborers start at $23 and up based on experience. You can visit nebcoinc.com or constructorslincoln.com. if you're interested in starting your new career today. Well, I don't think Joe Mazzulla or the Celtics are going to be looking to start any new careers here in the near future. Strick, they blow the entire rest of the NBA out of the water in terms of their net rating on the year. They end up 11.6 points per 100 possessions, better than an average NBA team. The next closest team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. So the 2-1 seeds do end up with the best net ratings. The math works out like that. But Oklahoma City started slow and has just been kind of okay over the last few months. Boston's really been gaining steam the later we've gotten into the year. Pretty good in October, November, December, January. February, a plus 16 net rating. March, plus 15.6. And then a plus 11.4, basically their season average in April. Boston won, 7 more games than anyone else in the NBA. 14 more games than anyone else in the Eastern Conference. There's a pretty good middle of the pack, but there's really only one great team in the East. It's Boston's to lose right now.
Yeah, I mean they ate a smorgasbord of Eastern Conference foes by dominating the conference by winning 41 games and only losing 11. So they just ran through the Eastern Conference as if they were all play toys, basically.
They lost 2 of those games to the Hawks of
which
all
is
teams
crazy,
recently.
right?
Yeah,
which is crazy. But that's the thing there, and there was other teams. A lot of teams were pretty much solid and okay. Out of the middle pack teams, the teams that did pretty good in their conference, we go back to the West, was the Clippers and Sacramento, which is crazy. So basically the struggle for like a team like Sacramento was in most cases probably on their East Coast swings where they didn't play very well. They go out and look, one of the toughest things is being a West Coast team or far like a Portland, for example. I remember playing in Vancouver, and because of our location, your Seattle's, your Vancouver's, when you go on the road, you go on long stretches because it's not economically feasible to go on short cross, multiple time zones to play games. I mean, I remember one of our road stretches was 14 days.
Yeah.
It was like literally 2 weeks, and it was a West Coast, and then on the way back it was East Coast on the way back playing some West Coast teams, and then finally going home. Those are tough to be gone that long. And so when your teams, like, I'm going to be honest, your middle of the country teams, it's not as taxing to go on the road because, you can pretty much 3 hours either way.
Did you notice that in, Indiana compared to, Vancouver, New York, Boston?
Yeah, the flights weren't as crazy. Especially in the West. When you're in the Midwest, when you're in the middle of the country in Milwaukee, and it's not bad because your trips, like you're Toronto in less than 30 minutes, New York in about an hour, a little over an hour. Then you go down the South, you're getting about 2 hours, and then you go west, you're 3, 4, depending. It's not bad. But when you're on those far coasts, yeah, those trips get long.
And here's the thing, Strick, we have to start dealing with that in college sports now too, which we'll have to have a conversation about, over the summer as we introduce the 4 Pacific Coast teams to the Big Ten. I get it, college sports are becoming more professional, but that's you as a pro and your teammates saying it's a grind for you guys. Imagine what it's going to be for college kids.
Yeah, it's going to be something mental, and this is the thing that college kids are going to have to endure that they don't. And this is one of the things they talk about. But here's how it's going to help, because one of the things that they talk about is hitting the wall, because college kids are only playing 30 some odd games, at most close to 40 if you go deep. Pause. If that's the case, you're going to get a better understanding of what it's like in a professional sense with those super conference Big Ten, because some of those teams are going to have to go to Rutgers,
right?
Penn State, you know, Maryland.
Well, UCLA plays both in Hawaii and in Piscataway.
Yeah,
this season. That's both
Brutal.
ways. Yeah,
brutal. So yeah, they're going to get a good understanding of what it's like. Because one of the dynamics when you're talking about college is it's just not playing ball. So it's, you know, on the professional level, it's just all you have to worry about is getting there, getting, you know, your scouting reports done and watching whatever film you need to watch or shoot arounds and play ball.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's easier in that sense. They still got to go to school. They still got to test. They still got to do papers. So sometimes those travels can be effective. And one of the things you don't want to do in college is make those professors upset. you don't want to do it. And that was one of the things I tried to make sure that I did. And, you know, I don't think this is why I was an academic all Big 8, but I would say I definitely made sure I had communication and relationships. If there's anything needed or I missed, or if there's something I need additionally, I would communicate pretty well. And we didn't have, we didn't even have email like that back then. So we had to literally call.
Send your carrier pigeons.
And basically. Yeah. You had to do stuff like that. We didn't have the same type of communication mechanisms that you do now. It's a lot easier to do that by way of these phones. I don't even think we got into two-way pagers until I was in the NBA. I want to say 99. Yeah, late 90s, 2000, early 2000s. That's when we had two-way pagers for the first time. Yeah. So
was girl drama a bigger deal in college or the pros?
It just
not for you particular. If you don't
it's
want
more
to.
magnified in the pros. Like I'll give you an example. So I'm a rookie and I don't know anything. I'm still green and I'm a rookie.
You wore the Mavs greens, right?
Yeah, I did. And what would happen is we would take road trips and you would get what they call a rooming list. They would give us a rooming list so you know where your teammates are, and you would get it out. And I'm looking on the rooming list and I'm seeing all these crazy names. I'm seeing like Denzel Washington, and I'm seeing like Spike Lee, and I'm seeing like Sean Connery, and I'm like what? Like, well, who's this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not here. But what I learned is why guys would do that on their rooming list. And this is probably a clippable thing because it's kind of funny. And but I realized it when I got to my room. So I get to my room and the lights blinking. And I answer the phone and it's messages. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe somebody's messaging me to maybe go get something, lunch, or meet with a coach or something like that. It's women. It's women on the phone and they're like, hey, you know, Eric, you don't know me, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I know that you guys are in town. And if you want to, you know, go out and have a drink or something, just give me a call. My number, blah, 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 555-16, you know, whatever. You're like, wait a minute, right? And now, mind you, I'm playing for the Mavs. And it was crazy. Okay. I didn't understand how much more crazy it is on the road until I played with the Knicks. Understand? I couldn't even imagine what it was like playing for the Lakers or the Bulls at that time. Because I knew that when we showed up, there would be, you know, ladies in the lobby and at the bar and, you know, stuff like that. But when I was with the Knicks, yeah. You walk in and it's a full smorgasbord of just beautiful ladies everywhere. It's crazy. So
New York.
That's why I knew that it's magnified. Like that's happened in college. Like if you have, you know, you have a really good game, and again,
student union fills up a little bit more.
TV's not like it is. It's very regional. You know, we had you know, Big 8 had its own little. So a lot of it's region. So in your region, yeah, you know, it was. You have a really good game and. You come back and you got a little. Now we had the old voicemails that had you had to put the little tape in it.
Yeah.
And when I'm saying tape, I'm not talking about Scotch tape. you put the little tape in it, and you go in and you'd have to rewind it, and you'd have to you play your little music, and you put your little message on there, and it beeps, and then you'd have to rewind it and erase it and use the tape over and over again. So yeah, there would be little messages on there, and I've gotten some crazy messages, so I thought it was it's just magnified to a whole different level.
Speaking of magnified, how about those hops you posted on Twitter this weekend?
Man,
Young Stricky, get up.
Listen.
That's authoritative.
And a couple of people responded on my ex, and they were like, even some of my old teammates and guys that I played with, Samaki Walker and guys would reach out, and they were like, yeah, Strick, I didn't know you bounced like that. and I said, yeah, I said to Samaki, I said, yeah, man, you probably only saw me twice, and that was when I got Ray Allen and when I got Dirk in practice. Like I think I went baseline on a drive and Dirk challenged, and I went up and got him. But I would surprise people sometimes by going. Now, the way that I would blow people's minds sometimes is when I go get a rebound. Like a rebound came off, and I would go up there, and they'd be like, "Oh, shoot, Strick, you went, you went and got it." But yeah, that's the times where I would surprise people. But back in college, you said what my motto became.
Yep.
Tell the listeners what you said, because that was my motto as to why I didn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I said young Stricky didn't realize that dunks and layups were worth the same points in college.
That part. In the NBA, I understood that I had to chase Allen Iverson one night. The next night I've got to chase Reggie Miller. Oops. Then I've got to chase Baron Davis, and he's physical. And then, oh man, John Stockton's coming in here, and they're going to be grabbing, handling, setting crazy picks, and I got to go around pick and rolls all night. And then the next night, oh no, wait, it's Nick Van Exel, and then I forgot there's Tim Hardaway, and, and I said, listen, I am not dunking because I've got to get back and play defense like 94 feet. So I'm gonna lay this thing up and go about my business. Yeah. So
but there's video proof that you yamped though.
Yeah, I used to put some people in there.
You sure did.
That was a fun time. It was a good run. Shout out to my boy, actually Rick Riley. He sent it to me. He was like, yeah, he's like young Stricky, and I said, oh man, that's pretty cool. So yeah.
I remember that guy.
I remember that game.
Yeah.
That was a good little sequence, by the way. That that back-to-back dunk sequence was pretty fun.
Good ball movement too. That thing didn't touch
See
the
how
floor.
fast that thing?
Yeah.
Tehran whipped
Stricky
that
at the
thing
rim.
up.
Mm-hmm.
And, you even saw Mikey. Mikey was out. So if I didn't have nothing or Tehran didn't have nothing, Mikey probably would have got something and put somebody. He's got a lot of those mid-lane runs where we found him late cutting, and he's made a show of people that way. Yeah.
Were you guys like the first version of like the 7 seconds or less Suns? Was that your goal? Did you talk about that sort of goal?
I mean, like that team, I want to say that team averaged almost like 80 points a game.
Sheesh. That's insane in college.
Yeah, in college. Yeah. I mean, we were like, if you scored, you were in trouble. Like if you didn't get back after a score, we was out. And we might be laying it up before you even turned around and thought you were going to get on defense. We really, and I thought there's times where this Nebraska team could have really been like that. The team that they had this year.
Yeah, makes sense. East play-in, the Sixers and the Heat.
Yeah.
Familiar for the Heat, Stricky. Not so much for the Sixers, who were 30-8 with Joel Embiid in the lineup, but obviously he's been out for a while. I love that matchup in a one game for the 7 seed.
That's my that's actually a dark horse in the East, getting a full strength Embiid back, rested, recovered, and if he's ready to go, that's a scary proposition. If they don't have a full strength Giannis, Philly can clip them. Philly's got a chance on that other side, because they would probably they would have to go through the Knicks. They would be on that side. So am I right? Yeah. Yep. They would have to go through the Knicks.
If they win the first one. Yep.
If they win that, they would have to go through the Knicks. And I actually think that's a favorable matchup, Maxey, Jalen. They've been good games throughout the season.
They have
that
been.
matchup. So
just a quick minute or two here. Cleveland and Orlando finished one game difference. Cleveland was your dark horse in the East before the year. Pretty solid. Spida in and out. Darius Garland, pretty solid. Some injury things. I want to talk about my boy, Paulo Banchero.
Man.
My boy. I'm claiming him. Youngest player ever to lead his team in points, rebounds, and I believe it was assists in the same season.
Yeah.
19, 20 years old. P5 is a man already. Got to get more efficient. A lot of extraneous stuff to cut out. But to lead the Magic from out of the playoffs to the 5 seed, to do it like that, I'm a huge fan of this Magic team, Stricky.
I'm impressed. I didn't know he would be like that.
Not from day one.
No, I actually, he's been a surprise to me. Quietly, the Pacers have just been moseying along. I didn't think they were as good as they are, but they're there. I mean, they've done what they needed to do, finishing the season on 7 out of last 10. So they put themselves in a position to make sure everybody in that middle pack, I think, made runs to do what they needed to do. I just don't think Miami gets by them, but I think Miami ultimately still ends up where they at now. Not overly excited about the Hawks. Bulls are just so inconsistent to me as well. But I think the East, bless you, is shaped up to be what it's going to be. I ultimately think this is what it ends up being. 76ers and Miami Heat, 7-8.
Yeah, these playing games should be pretty good, especially the 76ers and the Heat. And then those two middle series, the 4-5 and the 3-6.
Yeah.
I think we're in for some really good basketball on the Eastern side. Let's take a break. We'll call up Brian Munson of Husker Online, talk some Husker recruiting. Got a couple players in the fold over the weekend. What's on tap for the offense? What's on tap for the defense? We'll get Brian Munson's takes from Husker Online when we get back to On the Block.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through April 14th, enjoy USDA Choice Flat Iron Steaks for $9.99 per pound. All natural, boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.98 per pound. Duroc Pork Tenderloin for $3.99 per pound. And 4-ounce lobster tails for $6.99 each. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Hey, Nebraska! Register today for the 40th annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to cornhuskerstategames.com. Advocating for physicians in the health of all Nebraskans, Nebraska Medical Association, a proud platinum partner of the Cornhusker State Games.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
The Double the Savings sales event is happening now through April 22nd at Bonsall Pool and Spa. During this event, buyers can take advantage of up to $1,500 in savings and receive 0% APR for 60 months. Visit the Bonsall Pool and Spa showroom at 33rd and Pioneers or visit their website at bonsallpool.com to learn more about their hot tub sale. Act fast because this offer ends soon. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
The need in our community, if you just look at the numbers, it's frightening. We're serving over 1,000 kids every day. With the passion of our people, I really feel like our potential to be of even greater service to kids and families who are struggling is just unlimited. But in order to have the greatest impact, we need all the help we can get from the community.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line, here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here during On the Block. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland. We go to our VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We welcome in Brian Munson of Husker Online, who is our recruiting guy. And as we learned last week, also our impromptu science lesson guy. Brian, any good science lessons you learned over the last week that you care to share with us?
Oh no, man! I'm always tweaking things and looking at stuff and examining things. But no, that was a fun thing that Eric brought up last week, and obviously the eclipse is something that we won't talk about again for 20 more years or so, maybe even 30. So nothing in the last week or so as significant as the conversation about the eclipse and seeing both the moon and the sun at the same time and what to give credit for.
All right. Well, we will ask you, maybe not every week, but maybe monthly, if there's anything scientific on the docket, just because you did a great job. If you need a second calling in life, I think you found it.
Oh, man, I tell you what, it's one of the things that's still on as I get into the later portion of my life and I get a chance to move back to Nebraska, coming back to be a college lecturer is something that's definitely on my radar.
There you go. Your day job, though, recruiting, you obviously do a great job covering that for Husker Online, part of the On3 network. Let's start with some guys that are in the fold at the wide receiver position. First commitment of the weekend, close to home, Jackson Carpenter from Lincoln Southwest. Take us through the process with him and what it means that Nebraska got his commitment over the weekend.
Yeah, Jacko, 6'2", 195 pound athlete from Lincoln Southwest. Nebraska likes him as a wide receiver. He can do a little bit of everything. He's a tremendous athlete. He's got a pretty good size frame on him. Dad played for Nebraska. I played with his dad in high school. So Jackson was really kind of down to Kansas and Nebraska and decided to stay home, kind of following Dad's footsteps. Really, that wasn't like the biggest part about it. Dad was and the parents were actually, going to enable and support him regardless of wherever his decision took him. But Jackson decided to stay home. I think that Coach McGuire did an excellent job there. Obviously, I think that Kansas, the coaching staff at Kansas really had his eye for the longest time. I think Nebraska really just stepped it up. I think that there were some things that Nebraska has done in the last couple of months when it came to, kind of bridging that gap, and getting the offer to him was obviously very critical to be part of that. So I think Nebraska got a really good one. He's a 10-6-8 100-meter guy. He's nearly a 40-inch vertical jump. Really a tremendous athlete, and obviously he's got good size with that 6'2" frame.
You said they're starting him at wide receiver. If he's not a wide receiver, where do you think he might end up?
I mean, it's a possibility that he could be like an in-the-box safety. I think, obviously, from having spoken with him several times, I think his passion is playing wide receiver and being on the offensive side of the football. I think everybody, people have to remember, and that Dad was asked to move from, fullback to tight end when he was at Nebraska under Tom Osborne. So I think it's one of those things where if he has that mentality, where it's kind of a team first kind of thing, then there are at least the options there, I think, for him to find a role based on where the Nebraska coaching staff kind of thinks that he could kind of best fit and maybe play the earliest while he's in Lincoln.
Nebraska keeps Jackson Carpenter away from Kansas, and they get Bryson Hayes out of Kansas. That's a guy I don't recall asking you about. What's the need to know about Bryson Hayes, Brian?
Speed. He doesn't have that. So he has a 1/100th slower 100-meter time than Jackson does, but I think it's actually what he does within that first 50 yards, which makes him, very dangerous. So he's a 4.34 100-meter guy. He's been legitimately clocked, I think, at 21.3 mile an hour. I think he can, you can line him up in the slot. I think he can make some people, you can really scare some people when you have that kind of speed out there. So I think while Jackson and he, if you put him into that 100-yard dash, I think that Jackson gets there and passes him before that 100 meters. But I think that Bryson's going to be out on him very, very quickly. I think it's just a little bit of a different style. I think there's just that quickness thing that's there with Bryson. And I think Jackson obviously has got that longer frame. So Bryson a couple inches shorter. Interesting story though. I mean, he actually committed to Nebraska before Jackson did, and held back his commitment, to kind of get through the weekend and went public yesterday. He has a girlfriend that's going to end up going to play golf at Kansas. So very, very interesting things kind of going on there with him, but knew that he was going to be a Husker. I think Nebraska, probably broke Leipold's heart a couple of times over the weekend by grabbing both those guys.
You mentioned their speed. Is Carpenter, especially with his frame, more of an outside guy, and just Hayes' first step maybe put him in the slot, or is he an outside guy too?
No, I think that that's probably an accurate statement. I think that Jackson can do all of the things. I think that he could play off the ball. He can play on the line of scrimmage. He could play flanker. He could play, a couple different things. I think Bryson's even the kind of guy that maybe you start doing some jet sweeps. Maybe you try to find a different way to get him the kind of football, a little bit, maybe closer to the line of scrimmage. I think he's more of a screen guy. I think Carpenter's game is going to be, that he's got that top end speed, and I think he has that vertical. And I think that makes him really, really, really tough to deal with when it comes to longer passes outside, 50-50 balls along those lines. But I think Jackson has got a role to play multiple spots, but I would look for Bryson, at 6 foot, 180 pounds. I think he's more of a slot, but he's a good size slot. If you compare him to like a guy like Ja'Cory Barney and he aren't really the same guy. Bryson's still got a little bit more size there. I think Barney has a little bit more explosion.
When you say Jackson Carpenter can do multiple things, the first comparison that came to mind for me is Brandon Riley. Is that fair?
That's a great. because Riley had that kind of hidden speed about him, right? It was a low 4.4 guy. And Riley was a really kind of an underrated athlete in general. Had the kind of athleticism it took to get to the NFL. I think that's probably a pretty fair assessment right there. I think that's a good comparison.
You've also mentioned speed for a lot of these guys. Is that the number one trait Nebraska's going for in receivers? Do they have any, bigger bodied kind of red zone guys on their big board to go after? Or are they just going speed, explosion?
No, so those guys, are both sub 10.7 guys. So they're, 10.68, 10.69 respectively. Does Nebraska have some bigger body guys, coming in? Absolutely. You've got like Emmanuel Choice that's coming up the weekend of the spring game. He's 6'4". You have Michael Terry, who's the number one athlete in the country that's being recruited to play wide receiver as well. He's 6'3". Cortez Mills is a 6'2" kind of player, although I think Nebraska's really got the work cut out for him, to kind of get him to consider leaving Florida. Nebraska's got some guys coming in that I think are very, very interesting. I think that there's some guys in there, obviously, that are a little bit more towards that longer side, like what you're suggesting. But yeah, I feel like both. I feel like Bryson's still more of that. You get your slot guy, and you got to remember that Nebraska lost their slot, earlier on in the year, in the cycle, right, when they had a decommitment. So you now get your slot back, and then you probably then are looking at maybe taking another 2 wide receivers, and you have at least 3 confirmed official visitors over the coming weeks. So I think Nebraska's in a really good spot right now.
We're talking with Brian Munson of Husker Online here on our Allo VIP line. Who are those visitors you're talking about there, Brian, with spring game coming up here in a couple weeks?
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit, because we still, we're still sitting on 10 guys. Michael Terry, who I mentioned before, the number one athlete in the country from San Antonio, Texas. You have Adonis Curry, who was actually in Lincoln a week ago. Was there for an unofficial visit for a couple of days. You have maybe Nebraska's number one target at quarterback, TJ Lateef. You have Emmanuel Choice, who I just mentioned before, the 6'4" wide receiver from Lancaster, Texas. You have Rylan Dillard Allen, a safety from Phoenix, Arizona. He just got back from an official visit, or from a visit to, I think, Texas A&M. And then you have another wide receiver. Excuse me, I forgot all about Terry Shelton. Terry Shelton actually has some of my favorite film of the entire year, and he gets overlooked a little bit. He just got rated, I think, by On3 in the latest rankings. Very fun film to go out there and check out. And then John Mills, who was there for an unofficial visit last week as well from San Francisco. And then Keelan Abrams, linebacker from DeSoto, played with Mario Buford a year ago, was a previous decommit from Purdue. Really like his first step. He's got some great athleticism, maybe a little bit undersized as a linebacker, but very explosive.
You mentioned a couple Texas guys in that mix. I know a lot was made of Nebraska in the state of Texas when Matt Rule and his staff first got here. Is that connection still strong? Is it still growing, holding steady, more of the same from Nebraska down in your area?
Yeah, no, I think, you have Michael Terry, you've got Choice, that's 2, you had Terry Shelton, that's 3, Keelan Abrams makes 4. So 4 out of about half the guys I know about for that weekend are coming in from the state of Texas. Yes, Nebraska is still stepping up, trying to find their guys in the state of Texas. I think that what Nebraska is doing is they're not chasing the sizzle as much as the state this year. There were a lot of, maybe, I don't want to call it unnecessary, but maybe more flashy type of visitors, at the junior day that was in March, and for some of the return visitors for the spring game, and you brought a couple of those guys back later on in the summer, and it didn't lead to anything. It really didn't. So I think Nebraska they're not fooling themselves right now. I think that they know that they have to improve the product. I think that they know that they have to put a few more wins in the win column. I think they have to become a little bit more consistent in the Big Ten, get back on the national stage. They're not even mentioned a lot of times when it comes to like tuning into the national shows. So once you can kind of repair, I think, that opinion that goes along with it, I think that you're better off and you're be more in better position to kind of land a few of those guys. Like maybe now that you're hoping you get to catch a couple of those guys like on a bounce back if they decide to go wherever they went to, like Brandon Baker to Texas. Maybe in 2 years decides to reach out to Coach Raiola and say it just didn't work out here the way that I had hoped. I'd love to come back and take another look in Nebraska. I think Nebraska is at least kind of, planted those seeds, at least if that were to happen in a couple of years.
One more out-of-state guy before we wrap up with a couple in-state guys. Dawson Merritt, linebacker. Yep. What's the skinny on him?
Man, that's a great little story. I just posted a story on him. He's a 4-star linebacker out of Overland Park, Kansas. He was there Friday night and all day Saturday. When I say all day Saturday, he was there from 8 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. Ooh. He was on campus for 10 hours. That was his second visit to Nebraska. He's set to come back to Nebraska for an official visit on June 14th. The Huskers are in a great spot. I feel like he has made the right connections with the coaching staff. He got to know Dylan Raiola during the weekend, and his mom got to meet Raiola's mom. So they've actually then connected themselves a little bit too. I think that helps out as they kind of get closer into the official visit. Raiola is going to host him for the official visit, which is huge. But yeah, and I think he obviously is off to Alabama this weekend for an official visit. I think he's going to also see Missouri and Oklahoma. I think Nebraska is really in the picture for him. And if you put on that film, he is a playmaker. He is all over the football field, and he is just he's got tremendous athleticism and explosiveness, and I think it's exactly what Nebraska is looking for out of their linebackers.
Check out that story, HuskerOnline.com. Find Brian's article. Definitely read that. Okay, a couple in-state guys to finish off here, Brian. I'm sitting in studio with a former Thunderbird here from Bell West. A couple visitors from up there this weekend. Caprice Keith, we've talked about a little bit. Let's start with him. Some pretty good bloodlines. Where does Nebraska stand for him?
I caught up with Caprice on Saturday night. I actually exchanged some messages with his dad too, a little bit over Twitter. I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and blow one of my leads here a little bit for Tunnel Talk. I think Caprice is getting really, really close to picking up an offer from Nebraska. And that's a very solid dude. When I've had a chance to kind of catch up with him the last 2 years, going out to our in-state tour in Omaha, first of all, he was the guy that Hall and Kalen, they all said, this is the next one. This is the next Bellevue West guy. You need to catch up with Keith. And he impressed me as a sophomore. I never would have guessed he was a sophomore anyway. And then he really filled out between his sophomore and his junior year. He's gonna be a real high D1 guy. I know he's just got the offer from Iowa State right now. I think Nebraska may be closing in on or getting very close to making an offer to him.
The other guy from Bell West, then, Jermaine Green. That's a name I hadn't heard of before. What do we need to know about him?
Yeah, probably a little bit. I mean, needs a good camp this summer. Needs a camp this summer to kind of show that he, where he's kind of playing at. Put himself on Nebraska's roster a little bit more. Doesn't have that offer from Iowa State like what Caprice has. Very talented guy, nonetheless. It's just. I think it's one of those things where you're just trying to establish that relationship. You're trying to show people what you've got. And I think Green has got an excellent opportunity to kind of do that. I mean, we all know that the camps are incredibly important to Matt Rule and his staff. Bryson Hayes was a camp offer a year ago. So I really feel like Green can come in there, make an impression, and that would be something I would think that would make a lot of sense for him to go ahead and do.
There's the down low on recruiting from our guy, Brian Munson of Husker Online. Again, check out his story. Get ready for Tunnel Talk as well on Husker Online, part of the On3 Network. Brian, as always, appreciate your time. We'll definitely keep checking up with you, see if that spring game list expands at all. Have a good rest of your week, man.
Yep, sounds good, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Brian joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. You can watch any of our local programming here at 93.7 The Ticket on Allo Channel 961. If you subscribe, have them for your cable, turn your channel 961 on your TV and get the same thing you're watching on any of our streams. So big thanks to Allo for sponsoring that channel and our VIP line. Let's take a break, bring in Jay Foreman, crossed over with Old School to wrap up on the block.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny skies and breezy conditions to start off. Then a chance of showers and storms late. See a high around 83. Tonight, showers and storms likely, some of which could be severe. See a low near 63. And tomorrow, more showers, potentially storms likely. The high around 73. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful, with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big thanks to Brian Munson for joining us in our last segment to talk all things Husker football recruiting. Big thanks to Nebco for sponsoring the show. If you're looking to start your new career today, check them out at nebcoinc.com. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland back with you. Joined now by Jay Foreman. Jay, what's up?
What's popping?
Not much, Jay.
Strick, do you know Jay was in your town?
Huh?
He was in your town.
In Bellevue?
No, your other town.
Dallas?
Yeah.
Oh, Jay, what you doing down there?
We went down. We were playing in a circuit.
Oh, that
down
little
there.
tournament. Yeah. Okay. Y'all get it done?
We represented.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't win it, but we represented.
That's all you can ask
To the
for
fu-
in that
to the-
situation.
To the fullest.
Yeah. The Adidas tournament was up here, I heard, this weekend. I saw a
Yeah.
lot of people coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know, like what I'm assuming AAU is a lot different than when we played. It was real AAU. It was.
We didn't even have, I
Right.
mean, it was there, but it was mostly we would just go to a national tournament.
Right.
I mean, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
we play it kind of in your little 300-mile radius.
Yeah.
Now they got it, man. We're strict, man. You know, I just coach, man. You know what I'm saying? But now you got dudes out there like offering deals to players. I just have never seen anything like
Wow.
this, man.
It's real grimy right now.
It is, and then you mix in some stuff where, kids think that you're gonna. I tried to I had a real frank conversation with her, and hopefully it's the turning point. Now we've always been able to win. I said, listen, if you want so-called exposure, you better learn how to win.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming to watch you if you lose. And I think some of these times the parents don't understand. You get some kids that think they just, use the summer to get there. It's like, you're going to be getting yourself on the bench with Coach Foreman. You're going to be right here with me. I can even get you a nice little polo or, like a shirt, and we can just become acquainted. We can call some plays, draw some plays, but bruh, it's not working out for you right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at this point, and this tournament was good to kind of, so you can see, you see some big kids down there, man. There's some big old Texas kids, man. They were like, making me look small at 16 years old, 17 years old.
Any from Look You Up and Down?
Oh, here's a funny story, man. You want it strict? Here's the deal, man. We played this team Friday night, man. And little dude, they had they was packed. So they was local from Duncanville. They got great football, great basketball.
Yeah.
So this team was local from right around, that South, I'll call it South Dallas area, as you know. And they had this little kid, man. I'm gonna have to get a screenshot because we broadcast the game, just for the parents, whatever. My man had that body like a Kendrick Perkins, man, little pot belly, and he was up and down the sideline dancing on the screen, asking if this is gonna be on YouTube. We had his face in there. The best part about it is he came through the line and dapped me up. Good game, coach. It was, you know what? That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun, man. And he couldn't have been no more. He must have had I'm assuming he had maybe a sibling or a relative, on the team. He's out there, halftime, doing his thing. That brought back some good memories, man. But little dude was funny, man. He tickled me to death, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are fun times, man. I think, it's different now, but I still think one of the areas that's missing is we need to continue to develop.
And that's what I wanted to ask you, man, just about this whole basketball thing. Obviously, with WNBA's draft is tonight. You got obviously the playoffs coming, transfer portal with the new coaches, as you know, John Calipari and all that, and obviously you keeping a keen eye on Nebraska. Why has the emphasis changed in the ranks coming up from learning how to win and being associated as a winner versus like, all right, I'll be cool if I lose by 20 as long as I get 20?
Yeah.
Where is that part of the problem that you see even in the pros as you watch NBA?
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Because
it is, because then okay. So what happens is the trickle down effect of what happens in the NBA usually
Is it supposed to trickle up then? Essentially,
usually comes down.
Okay, so
It starts up, and I'll explain
well,
why.
then good, because I was wrong there. See, I thought maybe it's trickled
No,
up. Yeah.
it comes down.
Okay.
But one of the things that they always used to tell us, and this is even why not being drafted, I was able to make the team, because they used to stress this. And then Coach Richards, rest in peace, Lanny Richards, he used to always tell me that the success of your team will always open doors for those connected to you or associated with you to be able to have some form of success as well, right? Those things were always taught. This is why I also was made the team, because I understood that it's not always about how much you score, but it's the impact that you can have on a game without having to score. It's the realization that there are always others that are going to be ranked, rated,
for sure,
higher than you. You come onto a team. You can never say that you're going to go on a team that has Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and you're going to come in there and score 20 or score 30. It's not going to happen.
Right.
So you have to figure out, how can I still make an impact on this team without having to be seen or so forth.
10 shots a game or something.
That's what we were taught.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was able to make it, because even in my tryout, I barely scored, and I was sick, but I just was scrapping. I was diving. I was hustling. I was guarding. I was just doing other things, because they understand that that's what's going to.
That's what they need.
That's what they need.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the trickle down. There was a point in period to where you started to see, and you're seeing it on a max level now with guys like James Harden and these guys that were going for the money, and not necessarily for the wins.
Yeah.
No, I don't care, because the more that they did, the more that they were rewarded. And so you started seeing guys doing that. Now it trickles down, because now you have an element of the game called NIL. So the more in their mind's eye, they believe the more that I do, the more that I score, the more that everybody can score.
Right.
So that's the part, because the NIL now has gotten so crazy. So now you have parents pushing, and you have, coaches, and the coaches are really just trying to get the next opportunity. They're trying to get you on the team, because then they get the sponsorships, and the more talent they have, the more sponsorships, which is more money for them. So it's all became a money grab.
Money grab, right? Yeah.
Even in the AAU circuits, these are clippables, because this is real. This is some real talk right here. This is stuff people need to know, because even in the circuits, it's become a money grab.
Oh, for sure.
Your second tier circuits, and obviously your EYBLs, they are who they are. They're going to be. So most coaches are trying to get their teams into that, because there's sponsorships that come with that, which is money. Okay. Because what happens is, they know if they're in, parents want to have their kids in, which then they
would pay whatever premium dollar for it.
There you go. So you have that. Those second tier organizations where people still play, even on the regional level, it's all about how many teams they can get in, because even to them, it's not necessarily about the competition level.
Yeah.
There you go, Jay. It's not about the quality of the games.
Yeah.
All of that. It's just about how many they can get in, because it becomes money grab. So everybody is chasing bags.
Yeah. It's wild. It changed so much for me. I played with Khaled and, all those guys, and Sam Jacobson.
Yeah.
And it
Khaled
was
El-Amin.
it was a grind. Like, if you made the team, you was doing something. I was number 8, 9 on my team, and I was like not cool with it. It's the energy. I'm trying to dunk on you, because I'm trying to get everybody hyped, because and then I got to lock you down defense and hit a 3, or I got to do something like that. it's just amazing to me. And the reason why I thought it was a trickle up, because as you talk about NIL, so when you go down to high school and stuff and you're dealing with the circuits or any parents, now it's the social media thing.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, we'll give you exposure. And then what it is now is you have some teams that I call like the cherry pick. So they'll go, excuse me, and so they'll go and play teams and beat them by 30. Oh, now you had a good weekend. Yeah, I had a friend call. I said, listen, that's not how you're going to get better. If you want to try to go from like a 10th grade team, make a jump to starting on JV, be an impact player, or JV in a role player or impact player on varsity, you got to see some dudes that you got to go back to the lab every single week. You got to be dealing with some like hard facts that I can't let somebody just walk me down in the middle of the lane,
Right.
and because that's only way you're going to get better.
And here's why you see, this is just a small sample size of how you can see what I'm saying is working, that it's different. And you will be able to attribute it to the football side because you'll get it. Guys like Eli Reich, Job, when guys vacate, there's open space and opportunity. So for you to leave
just as the door's opening,
yeah,
to go into the unknown,
right? They still out there, and they in the vortex. Still.
There's other. Yeah.
I call it the vortex. When you
if you're
just
not picked up quick, that means there's something about what do we talk about? The best ones, because so this is the way I said it, because I want you to tap in on that question.
Right.
The way that I said it, Jay, is football. The basketball comment to football is like when there's a because this doesn't happen. Great quarterbacks don't stay available long.
No, like the Justin Fields.
Great tackles.
No,
don't stay. Centers.
Yeah.
Don't stay long. Running backs are a dime a dozen. So
unless you're outstanding.
Unless you're outstanding, but in most cases, you're not in an ultimate hurry to jump on.
Right.
Receivers, top tier receivers, they don't stay long. So
and
pass rushers and corners on the D side.
Right.
Linebackers,
that's got to be a big need.
You got to be a big, you know what I'm saying? So in basketball, it's the same thing. Top tier centers, gone quick. Point guards, if you're good and you've got a bag and you can stroke, gone. You ain't gonna be in there long.
Right.
And then those anomalies, those
the 6'8" wings, the ball handling, 3 levels,
penny types, they ain't gonna stay long.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And this is why your boys are still in the vortex, because
it happens.
They're not
educated.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID really quick. We'll let you spot.
You need to get on that.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah, it's wild,
It's
man.
crazy.
I mean, the one thing about it, I remember, like when you think about Alabama and what Nick Saban does, he goes in and he's choosing, right? He got the receiver,
Jameson Williams.
We got him out of the portal. Got Burton this year. They got the running back that's up at Detroit. Gibbs, cold-blooded from Georgia Tech. And so you're talking about those positions. They getting plucked off right. They don't even. They ain't even in the portal. All the portal is for them is just a.
Did they get Caden Proctor out of the portal?
It's a formality. I just got to get in there and they know exactly where they're going. Like the big tackle that left Alabama, went to Iowa, now he's back, right? That's just the way it goes. And you see that also in the high school level and this whole thing when you're talking about these kids. And it's like, and I get it. You can be influenced and everybody wants to be wanted. Like it does make you feel good, right? Where it's like, say like, Valentino's calls up to Bellevue West, said, man, we want you to come try out or be on our team or versus another team. But man, what's happening is these guys out there, you the same player you were in 8th grade. You're the same player you were in 9th grade. Then next thing you know, you get out there and you play against some dudes that can look you dead in the eye, and you trying to go back to the same thing that you did, and it's your main thing.
It
was that faucet is shut off
Mhm.
Well, then you can't be looking at the sidelines, bro. You got to be looking in the stands because somebody in the stands was telling you something that you weren't listening to when your coach was doing. So it just is a very, it was not an eye-opening experience. I mean, it's something that you see it a lot in football. You talked about the situation, with the Diop and Rice. You had it sometimes out here in Nebraska where it's okay, this is where you're expected to start, and you're going in the portal.
Right.
Now, it does work out some places, right? And maybe you need a change of scenery. But at the end of the day, you spent all this time, and the basketball players not even that much, but the window is wide open.
Right.
And it's almost like, Strick, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like they're afraid of the opportunity, like afraid of even remotely competing for the position. It's like just like you don't even want to work on your game. You want to take the same game that got you minimal minutes to go to the same level of playing, like the same college, like say like you go from Nebraska, let's just say Texas A&M and Kansas State or something like that, right? Same school with the same game and play more minutes. Like it doesn't make rational sense to me.
No.
Because no matter where you go,
and they don't know you.
That part, that's the biggest part.
That's like that's like you're with the defensive coordinator right here that has watched you. They know you,
recruited you, trained
have a plan for you.
Right.
They have a plan.
And
you freaking once the linebackers that were before you,
Yeah.
they're gone.
Yeah.
And you're gonna leave to go to a school where there's 3 more of you coming in
every year.
Every year,
it'd
and
be
there's still guys there.
It'd be like Troy Dumas and Clint Brown left, and I'm like, all right, it's open competition. Now, granted, I was low on the depth chart, but you could get in where you fit in within a year or two.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They never recruited me, but I'm gonna go ahead and go to Oklahoma because they need a linebacker. And then I'm sitting there on the outside looking in, and it's the craziest thing ever that
and then you still mad. You mad.
Right. But
because
there's no
they may have
self-reflection.
sold you, right? No self. They may have sold you. Yeah, you got an opportunity. Yeah, you do. But do you? You do. But you've got to over exceed
Right.
what guys that were in that room did.
Right.
And if you ain't built like that,
Right.
it ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, me and my dad had that conversation. I was thinking about going to Michigan after we beat Florida, and he was like, "Look, man, there's dudes up there. They didn't recruit for 3 years. You staying right here. You good, But here's an NFL equivalent to it, right? Like Willie McGinnis, I think he probably is a Hall of Fame player. He has the most sacks in playoff history. So that's something that where you put a stamp on the game, right? The most sacks in playoff history. Now, granted, they went to every year, but again, he's sacking the quarterback. He was a well-established player. I think he played 15-something years. And same with Mike Vrabel. But the thing that people don't understand, I learned this, and this is why I always put so much emphasis on winning. You go to New England, and they won all them Super Bowls, right? Romeo Crennel goes to Cleveland. Who does he bring with him? Willie McGinnis, 4 years. Here's another example. So Joe Vitt, right? They said there's a joke around the league that he'd only play like white linebackers, right? It is. That's all you play. Like you was white, you was in there.
Luke Kuechly, you're good.
Right. Anybody white, you got any pigmentation, he got a problem with you, and you only there for a year. Well, he coached a good friend of mine named Scott Fujita that played for the Chiefs. Yeah. Joe Vitt goes to New Orleans. Who does he come with him? 5-year deal. And it's the winning that goes, and it gives you more opportunities because that's what people want. And I think it also starts at the high school programs because they don't coach to win. You know what I'm saying? Like in my high school, like with Coach Grant, our football coach, and Coach Tobin, who's at Georgia Southern now, like if you went out there and say you went like, I don't know what, 5-18 in basketball, you got to go see the AD. We got you turn this around. What you doing? Like you got a summer program going. What are you doing? You got somebody coming in here? Because you're gonna mess around to only be the social studies teacher.
Right.
Like that's the type of pressure that these we was dealing. Now we always were successful, but it wasn't.
Yeah, just
you wasn't just. Oh yeah, he been there for 10 years, but they ain't never ain't the same old school. So I think it's a trick. It's trickle down, it's trickle up. I think.
Yeah.
Now I think it's so much money in it.
Yeah.
It's just like NIL or anything like you just wonder if it's ever going to kind of come back to, and this isn't old guys on the porch. We just want the purity of the game.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you see Eli Rice walking around with all that potential. He's like, dang.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you 6'3". You
Yeah.
do 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah. And with a good body as a young man, only going to get stronger and better.
Right?
Man, please.
Statue be over there.
I would have been, man.
You had a bigger statue than Allen Iverson, right?
Yeah, because it's the accountability.
Right.
It's what you just said. The accountability of not looking at yourself. What didn't I do? What do I need to improve on? Because you think you've already arrived.
Right.
You ain't there, my boy.
Yep. Man, that's good stuff, man. It's plenty clippable moment. We done for the week.
Sure. We're kicking it.
We done for the
chilling.
week. Yeah.
Nebraska men's basketball, just throw that out here really quickly, did add a transfer guard, Raleigh Worcester from Utah, out of the portal. I think that's something Strick and I break down tomorrow. Get a look at this guy, go over his numbers, his story. So
Uncle
no
Rollo.
Raleigh fingers mustache or anything, unfortunately.
Uncle Rollo.
Hey, we'll get into that tomorrow during On the Block. Don't go anywhere. It's you and me and you and Jay stuck with me as well for Old School next.
Go hog wild, pit barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue